Hello, everybody. Welcome to the D-Pad. I'm Rick, and Nintendo has been kind of just super dropping just stuff out of nowhere with no announcement lately, which is kind of hilarious. All of their like indie showcases, they make a big point of announcing ahead of time, but then for their big like AAA or AA or anything that's like part of their main like setup, they just start dropping out of the sky like it's nothing. So if you haven't heard, they announced Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, a game that is apparently set 100 years before Breath of the Wild, which is when our champion Link from that game was before he was asleep during that whole situation. So I'm curious, A, how this is going to go in general, and B, can this game be won, or does the game end with you losing and being put to sleep? Like, is this an in-canon prequel to Breath of the Wild, or is it an out-of-canon sequel to Hyrule Warriors? It's going to be confusing, but let's jump right in. I don't know. Have we actually seen that little thing before? Nintendo Presents? Let's see what we got here.
Hello everyone, I'm Eiji Aonuma, the producer
Hey,
of the Legend
AJ.
of Zelda series.
What's up?
We mentioned in the June 2019 Nintendo Direct presentation that we had started development on the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Many people around the world are still playing Breath of the Wild, so I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Everyone, thank you so much.
They're not going to, like...
Regarding the sequel, in order to make the vast world you enjoyed exploring in the original game even more impressive, the team is working hard on its development, so you'll have to wait a bit longer before we can provide more updates.
Okay, that's fine. I thought they were about to say that this was going to be the sequel. It's like,
we've prepared a different way for you to experience the world of Hyrule, and we have a video to introduce it. Please take a look.
I wonder if they were planning to release this side by side with the sequel originally.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule is also the history of Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Okay, all right. So far, the graphics look pretty on point. Yeah, we're going straight up Hyrule Warriors. Is this the first non-Dynasty Warriors sequel that they've done? That Koei Tecmo has done in this like kind of set of games? Also, it's great that you get your other champion buddies. Nice. Oh, God. Yeah, wait, how are they going to work in, like... Oh, my God, the Yiga clan. I'm curious how they're going to work in the runes. Also, the divine beasts. All right. I feel like this would have to have way fewer playable characters, right? Unless they wrap in, like, the characters out of the original Hyrule Warriors in some way. That's pretty goddamn cool, though. All right. All right.
I must protect everyone.
You see, this is what makes me nervous, that the win condition of the whole game is you still lose.
What you just saw is the game that Koei Tecmo Games is developing.
All right.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. This game takes place 100 years before the events of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
In that game, the Great Calamity that occurred 100 years prior was mentioned, but the actual event itself wasn't shown in full. In this game,
So this
you'll be
is-
able to experience the events of the Great Calamity. So now, I would like to invite Koei Tecmo Games producer, Mr. Hayashi.
This will be interesting, because, like, in Breath of the Wild, it's presented as sort of like Ganon took them by surprise and just sort of, not ambushed them, but, like, it was a very
Hello,
sudden
everyone. I'm
chain of
Yosuke
events.
Hayashi from Koei Tecmo Games and the producer of this game.
Although
Hyrule
maybe they were
Warriors
planning
Age
this
of
from the
Calamity
beginning, you know?
Began when Mr. Aonuma approached us saying, I think it would be interesting to create a Warriors game telling the story of the Great Calamity. What do you think? The battles between the Kingdom of Hyrule and Calamity Ganon would complement warrior-style gameplay against large armies.
I'm curious how like the whole world map would work into this and stuff too.
The previous Hyrule Warriors games were filled with Zelda conventions. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, broke these conventions entirely, and perhaps it's
Very
the same
true.
for everyone here, but for someone like me, who's been playing Zelda games for a long time, this was an extraordinary experience. It's a new, special title for me. Unlike the previous Hyrule Warriors games, Hyrule Warriors
What's with that
Age of
face on the
Calamity
side?
was developed by working closely with the Zelda team in every step of the process.
Also, Mifa
including
was
gameplay
blue.
direction, graphics, world, and all dialogue.
That was
While we
interesting.
maintained the distinct gameplay style of the Warriors series, with exciting 1 versus 1,000 battles and a wide variety of playable characters, this became the only game that will let you experience the world 100 years prior to the events of the
So,
Legend of Zelda. Breath
I'm
of the
curious who
Wild.
you'd have as playable characters besides Link, Zelda, the 4 champions. I can't even imagine like a Ganon character would be playable here.
Thank you, Mr. Hayashi. During the development of the
Maybe the
previous
king?
Hyrule Warriors games, I was impressed with how the Warriors development team, led
I don't know
by
who
Mr.
else.
Hayashi, had a deep understanding
Maybe
of the Legend of
Impa?
Zelda series. This time around, they made it possible to create this new experience by combining the well-detailed world of Breath of the Wild with Warriors gameplay. Therefore, I believe this game will offer the experience of the Great Calamity battles that weren't fully shown in the original game. I hope that both those who played the previous Hyrule Warriors
Alright.
games and those who played The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can experience this game.
This will be interesting.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity will launch on November 20th.
Oh god. Oh geez, we're never gonna be done with these games.
Thank you for your continued support for The Legend of Zelda.
I'm
and
excited.
this
I'm
game.
glad that it's coming out. It's hilarious to me that we're trying so hard to like close out. We've been doing the Legendary Let's Play for over 7 years now, and we're trying really hard to end it. But now we've got this and Symphony of the Mask both coming out this fall, which is like gonna slow that down a little bit. That's okay. Wow. All right. So yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued to see. It does seem like, at least with the presentation they're giving, it is a, one, it's closer to being an in-canon kind of thing than Hyrule Warriors was, which was bizarre and sort of like, it took place outside of canon, but used characters in their canon kind of moments or something. It was a little confusing. This one seems much more like it's actually taking on like the story in the canon, though it wouldn't be entirely unreasonable for them to bring in some kind of, like Sia or like that kind of thing from Hyrule Warriors into this. I'd be surprised by those characters specifically, but like they could do something along those lines. They could have some kind of connection back to the original Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens when this does come out. I'm curious to see more details about it. It seems like it would seem like it would have to be a more narrowly scoped game, not necessarily a shorter game, but the scope would be narrower than Hyrule Warriors. And I don't know what kind of extra characters that they'd really want to pull into it. So I don't know. This is interesting. It's definitely a surprise. They pulled that out of nowhere, and we'll have to see over the next 2 months, 2 months and 12 days as of recording here. So yeah, about 10 weeks, 10, 11 weeks. So we'll have to see how that goes. And I guess we'll have to find out more about that later on. Leave some comments below about your thoughts about the trailer, about what the game has in store, and what you're looking forward to about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.